we are going to discuss a very interesting topic called business analysis, a subject on which you might have noticed that I've authored a book. To begin with, what is business analysis? Business analysis is essentially a topic which has emerged over the last couple of years, particularly 2004 onwards in the IT industry, and emerged as an independent role. And typically you find a lot of MBA graduates getting into business analysis roles. This has emerged out of the erstwhile technical systems analysis role which used to exist, for the simple reason that the industry has realized that it's very important that the analyst who studies the business requirement needs to understand the business domain well and be able to interact with users who are knowledgeable in the domain in their language and at the same level, which probably a technical analyst is not able to do. Hence you find a separation now happening between the technical role of systems analysis and design, which is a hardcore IT related function, and on the other hand a business domain related function which requires getting across to the end user, talking to him, getting his requirements and converting that into a vision for a probable solution. So we are going to discuss this, and why do you think this has really emerged as an important role? If you trace out any industry, for instance here I am talking about the IT industry in specific, but this applies probably to any industry. Most industries begin with a craft. For instance, in the early years of IT, a programmer was all in one, a person who could understand requirements and try and convert it into a language which is usable on the computer and program it. Today the situation is quite different. You find that IT has moved from being a craft to a mass production kind of an industry. Throughout the 80s and 90s, if you've seen, large companies have grown out of IT setups. Today in fact TCS employs close to about 1.5 lakh people, and that's a fairly large manufacturing base in a sense. You would also notice that people started calling IT setups as software factories, which itself indicates the manufacturing orientation of IT. As a result of which there seemed to be a focus on process enhancements, quality, because the minute you have mass manufacturing, all the learnings that we've had in the past from manufacturing industry straight away got applied to the IT industry. And so you find ISO 9000 for instance, and CMM and a variety of such quality process models came up, essentially belief being that if the process is right, the product would be right, so that you would be delivering the right software to the customer if you had mature processes. From mass manufacturing, you have now become more of mass customization. For instance, the example of TCS which I quoted, the 1.5 lakh people who are there in TCS actually are split into small groups, each group delivering precise solution to a precise end user within a given client. For instance, TCS might be serving, let's say, a company like General Electric, but within General Electric there would be half a dozen projects which are running parallelly, and one group in TCS is delivering a precise solution to one of those groups in GE, and the other group is servicing another group in GE. So this is what I call as mass customization, which is a precision networking and precision delivery of solutions. This requires both delivery capability but also the ability to understand precise requirements of a customer and of a certain end user. Last but not the least is we are now heading towards a phase where, as NASSCOM calls it, the IT industry is moving up the value chain, and we are trying to co-create solutions with customers. We are working along with customers, for instance, to build products. There are companies in India, software companies, which build products for somebody abroad, and that requires a co-creation bent of mind. So you're working together with the customer to proactively understand his needs, proactively project his roadmap and provide solutions to him. Now when you look at this evolution, it obviously means that the person who does the analysis of a requirement actually is now gradually moving towards somebody who thinks holistically, thinks from not a requirement perspective but a solutions perspective, thinks not as a supplier but as a partner to a company, and last but not the least, as you become a co-creator of a solution, you tend to become nearly a consultant. For instance, in today's world, a large bank, for instance, will approach a company like TCS saying that we need a solution so that we can reach out to our customers. We have a problem that our productivity is low. we have a problem that our costs are going up, can you do something for it? So the IT solution becomes one part of the entire business solution which we're talking about. Now a typical software person cannot handle a problem like, can you improve the productivity of a company? No, he can't. He can at best address developing a solution, whereas in today's world what is really required is a consultant who says, yes, I will take up the challenge of improving your profitability or your productivity, and if an IT solution can help in that, I will certainly embed it as part of the solution. So you really need to migrate from being a programmer to an analyst, and from there to a consultant. And I believe that business analysis is headed towards becoming a consulting role, and that's what this talk is about. Just to clarify the roles of a business analyst and where does a business analyst fits into a company, this diagram helps you to understand how the BA role has been carved out of the technical analyst role, and this is a pure play BA role, as I call it, which is about requirements gathering, requirements documentation, writing use cases, etc. And on the other hand, the business analyst can also play a role in pre-sales. And what is pre-sales? When you go as a salesperson first to a new client and ask him what his problems are, and he says, oh, my costs are increasing, can you do something? Now you need to think back and find out what solutions you could propose to the customer. This requires both a technical understanding, at the same time domain understanding of the business of the customer, and be able to propose solutions which help the client in achieving his business goals.